So as I sit here in my house, today is February 27th or something like that, 2026. And I am going through hell on earth. I'm being tortured by my city. I'm a tax-paying homeowner in the city of Newburgh, New York. And the city is using a court order that they obtained from a judge. The backstory: the city took me to court over an alleged building code violation, which I completely disagree with. However, I voluntarily showed up to court, went through the process. The city wanted me to obtain a CO by X date, which I could not meet that deadline. So I went to the county and transferred my deed from my LLC over to my personal name, not to evade the city. It's just the transfer was just to streamline my finances and allow me to represent myself in court, because lawyer fees were just draining me. However, the transfer was done in October. The order was signed on my birthday, November 19th, of all days. So the judge signed an order ordering me to give the city $15,000 and cut off my utilities. Now, there's a few things that was wrong here. So the order was signed November 19th. The city cut off my utilities less than 48 hours later. The city violated a few things. First of all, the LLC no longer owned the property, so my utilities should never be shut off for a property that's owned by a LLC, because the title got transferred. Second of all, the city violated their own statute. Their statute says you're supposed to notify the owner you're supposed to give the owner 15 days notice before you disconnect their services. And the third thing is, it's a due process issue. The city never served my LLC or myself with the order. I still have not seen the order. My water has been cut off for 90 days and counting on a house that is occupied. Granted, I do not have the CO, but the house is 99% complete. I'm just waiting. At the time, I was just waiting for a plumbing inspection, which the city refused to come out and do. They're extorted me, saying that in order for them to come back to my house, I have to pay the $15,000. So I'm looking at a Section 1983 violation. That's a due process violation. They violated my 14th Amendment constitutional rights. They are literally torturing me. They're torturing me, my 7-year-old daughter. I have to resort to being resourceful. I have to go fill up 5-gallon jugs at the spring every other day or every day in order for us to use basic stuff that is in a 21st century city. I am left without running water for 3 months and counting, and the city still refuses to come turn my water back on. So on the 90th day, I filed a notice of claim to the city and I filed a FOIL request requesting all documents surrounding my water shutoff. Immediately, they sent the water superintendent out the next day to look at my meters. He looked at my meter and he still left me without water. Remember, the meters are working fine. That's gross negligence. And to make matters worse, the water department recognizes me as the new owner. The bills were in the LLC name, and the water department got the new copy of the deed and send me bills in my name and still denying me service. They're trying to coerce me into making the $15,000 payment. Granted, the judge ordered that payment against my LLC, not me. So yes, while I admit that I'm still on the hook for the $15,000 bill, me being the new owner should not be penalized because a LLC and a natural owner person are two separate things. It's two separate entities. So the city shouldn't be holding an order meant to punish the LLC against me. So that's my dilemma. I am looking for lawyers that could take this on a contingency basis to help me punish the city. It's not about me dodging $15,000. It's about how the city uses these shakedown principles to intimidate and bully residents. I pay taxes. I pay close to $9,000 a year in taxes. Should I go without water? I don't have a water. I don't have any water. I can't wash, cook, clean, bathe. I cannot have a normal life because I have no water. The only way I'm surviving is that I go to a spring around 23 minutes away to fill up my 5-gallon jugs of water. And that's how I've been surviving. I'm surviving because I grew up in Jamaica. I grew up in Jamaica without running water. So I know how to survive. But my little 7-year-old daughter shouldn't have to be going through this traumatic stress. She was 6 at the time. She became 7 in January. But she shouldn't have to be going through this. She cries and complains. There's no hot water. It's cold when she's brushing her teeth. I have to give her a bath. I have to warm water. This has interrupted my quality of life. I am forever traumatized. My daughter is forever traumatized by this experience that the city's putting me through. I filed a notice of claim and I have a year and 3 months in order to sue them. I am looking for a lawyer to help me with this. But if I can't, I'm just going to have to litigate myself. I'll do research to the nth degree and I'll do it myself because it's not about the money. It's about being bullied. And the city of Newburgh is notorious for bullying its residents. That's what they do. That's exactly what the lawyer said to me earlier, because from the day I bought this house in 2023, he's just been on my back. He tried to cut off my utilities before, but that when I bought the house, it was a complete renovation and it had no utilities. So he tried to get me to sign a stipulation to cut off my utilities. And then he came on the phone and said, oh, That's the quickest way that we stop people. There's so much buildings in Newburgh that people are renovating without permits and stuff. That's the quickest way we could stop people. And I was like, but there's no utilities on my property. So fast forward January 2024, he took me to court. Granted, the property was still owned by the LLC at the time, and it was still undergoing renovation. But he never provided that update to the judge. He made it sound like the property was still under renovation. I did nothing to the property and I made no progress. Mind you, I made 100% progress. Let me get that right. I put all the windows in. I got to the point where the property was livable and I was living in it. So he did not point that fact out to the judge, and he told the judge that the property was vacant. Nobody lived here. Even though I had bills in my name, I had electric and gas coming to the property, and water, because the water's been on forever, and water. So because the city owns the municipal water, they cut that off. But if they had owned the electric and gas, he would have cut that off too. And they have the audacity to tell me that the judgment is a lien and it follows the title. A judgment is not a lien. It's not a lien on the property. It's a judgment, and it does not follow the title. And their admission by sending the water superintendent out to come look at the meters, that's an admission in itself. And he left without putting my water on. Like, I emailed the corporation counsel and nothing. This guy, Jeremy Kaufman, he's the culprit, man. He's just a culprit. He's the one terrorizing the city. The Architectural Review Board, they're terrorizing Newburgh. They're just stunting the growth of this great historic city. It's like, I don't know. I don't know what they want. Like, I came in and restored a house that was sitting here vacant for 15 years. It was literally falling down. The chimney fell down. The roof was caving in. I literally had to rebuild this house. And this is the payback that I get. No water in a city where I'm paying $10,000 in taxes and going up every year, and I need to live without water. My daughter, my 7-year-old minor child, has to suffer without water. This is not right. This is not right. Anybody out there that could help me in this fight against injustice, DM me. I will respond, because it's not about the money. It's about the bullying tactic of a government trying to bully citizens, think they're above the law, think they don't need to follow the process of regular people. You don't need to, you just could just shut off someone's water in less than 48 hours, and they just should live with it and say nothing about it and run and pay the money that's supposed to be paid. Don't get me wrong. If they did things right, 100%, I pay the money. But they didn't do it right, and there should be some justice. Anyway, thank you for listening to me vent.